Dear friends, it's kind of interesting to live in the times we are living right now. I'd like to welcome everyone who is sincerely concerned about which direction society, politics, and our spiritual life has gone. I also welcome those who try to find out if I'm saying something wrong, let's put it this way. I have attended many events where I found government people coming to find out if I say something and then use it in the next court case against me. So I welcome these people as well. I don't like to kind of repeat my story, in detail. I just know I'm very grateful that I have been brought up in a situation where I had to question what happened in the life of my parents. And that was in Germany. And I remember that I made an oath to myself after I asked my parents, I said, what happened that you didn't speak up at the time when there was still time in Germany, when the powers took over and brought us to the Second World War? And then they said, well, by the time we realized what was going on, it was too late. And I keep warning for 20 years that we're entering a very similar situation here in North America, and I say in North America because it's not much different in the US. And I gave a speech, which is in that book, by the way. I gave a speech at a big convention in Madison, and I just want to read a few things out of there. That was 10 years ago I gave that speech. It is though we have arrived at a new form of dictatorship, a dictatorship of regulations and laws intended to limit our individual liberties. To be silent means to accept the consequences of our consent. Most of us have been part of the current evolution of materialism, where everything comes down to money, assets, personal security. We have developed a contrived sense of comfort and safety that too often weighs heavier than the courage to question basic human rights abuses or to question the steady increase of the infringement on individual liberties. Too many of us are unable to resist because we fear the heavy hand of the current bureaucratic and soulless control structure. This opens the door to a scenario where the majority of people in any given society will quite soon be easier to manage and at the same time easier to be used in questionable ways. Give them bread and games was the successful motto of the Roman Empire that subsequently fell in any case. Today we have all the food we can think of, we have all the entertainment we can imagine, and most people are content as long as they are financially secure and physically safe. To resist today appears to most of us to be quite foolish, since to do so might mean endangering our personal livelihood. We have consented in a silence to a culture that is destroying millions of years of evolution. We have consented to being dependent on government beyond imagination. We have consented to the loss of liberty for the sake of convenience and security. What we are facing will be not less important than the human rights movement, the civil wars, the end of slavery, or the struggle for independence in India. Be it Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, or thousands of unnamed heroes of the past, let's be inspired by them. Let's have the same resolve and courage. Let's look at the future as the responsibility we have chosen freely. Unless we are truly willing to take a stand for the sake of our children, of our grandchildren, and the many generations to come, we will make a mockery of all those who had a dream of a just and caring society. We are at the forefront, not by default. We are in the forefront to defend the most important element of our society, the health and sanity of our body, our soul, and our spiritual life. Thank you. And in a way, in a scary way, you can think, be looking at our situation we are living in. I just came from a funeral today from somebody who died basically after got the 5th shot of the vaccine, had a stroke and a heart attack at the same time and died within 2 days. These are the realities. These are the realities we are all facing. And I think every individual here needs to understand the seriousness of the situation we are in. That it is not tomorrow where we need to act. It is today where we need to act. And that is part of this, and I wouldn't say anxiety be feeling. It is just the basic human understanding why we are here. We're not here, and we know that, we're not here to have a good and comfortable life. We're here to fight for the right thing, for the goodness, for the ethics, for the morals of a fair society, for the caring for each other. And I don't see that, and I don't want to become political here, I don't see it with the current people in power that this will be possible. I was in the very similar footsteps like Maxime Bernier. I had worked as a candidate for the Conservative Party, and I basically got shut down by the dairy farmers of our area. They all grouped together. I came in second. I could have gotten it, but they, in last minute, they flew them in, they got them in, and so there was. And then I realized my role is not inside the parliament. We are much more powerful as individuals, not as a group, but as individuals in some areas to fight outside of parliament. And it was a blessing that Randy was there, because there was at least one voice in there which spoke in a way where we felt we are at least heard. And therefore, and so I like to encourage you all that we try again to bring somebody into parliament who truly values the God-given rights and, you know, our inner strength as a human being to represent that in parliament, not as a politician, but as a human being to be there and stand up for us. It is so important because the time, the clock is ticking. We all know it. And unless we want to get deeper and deeper into the destruction of humanity, unless we let it happen, we still have to pay for it. And so let's be courageous, let's be strong. It's fun to fight the government. And the reason why it can be fun is if you not take it personally. As soon you take it personally, it's wrong. But when you fight on the basis of principle, let us say it's not wrong what I'm doing, yeah, and you need to think of the government as a group of, I know it's politically incorrect, but as a group of little retards, and have actually huh?
Not just little retards.
Okay. And have compassion that they actually don't understand yet what true liberty is all about. Yeah? And so you look, I always looked at myself, it's, you know, in a way, it's like going to Stratford to the theater. There's one guy and he's telling everything what the government wants him to say. And then we are here and we're trying to say, well, you know what, it's just about milk. It's just about milk, yeah? And they say, no, it's not about milk. And then I say, you're right, because milk is only the start. Then comes the next thing, and then comes the next thing, and then comes the vaccine, and then we finally got you, okay? So, thank you all. If you want to know more about it, I don't want to repeat it so many times. It's in the book. What you pay there goes directly to fund the campaign and will move us forward. It doesn't matter if you win. The voice just needs to be heard. Okay? Thank you.